This is the Drive to the Zenith A12 foldable compact e-bike. And today we're not only going to review it, we're going to test it to its absolute limit. Can it handle the steep hills on your commute and put a smile on your face too? Let's find out. Drive to the Zenith, or DTTZH, is a manufacturer that operates its own factory in China. They not only sell direct to consumers, but they also sell to other companies that put their own labels on the bikes and sell them on sites like Alibaba, Temu, and Amazon. So you might see other bikes that look the same with other names. But the A12 is an original design by DTTZH. I really just want to call them Zenith. DTTZH is not easy to say, or doesn't just roll off the tongue. Maybe even like DTZ, that might even be better, or like I said, Zenith. But anyway, the bike basically comes fully assembled. Both wheels were on, both fenders were on. I really just had to attach the pedals. The A12 features a powerful 52-volt system that provides sustainable power throughout the charge, so you don't experience as much voltage sag as the power drops. The 25 amp hour battery has plenty of range to alleviate range anxiety and carries a UL 2849 rating for peace of mind and to satisfy insurance and legal requirements. The 1000-watt nominal rear hub motor with a 2000-watt peak being pushed at 52 volts can hit 40 miles an hour under no load. The full 6-point suspension offers unexpected comfort and absorbs bumps and cracks so your body doesn't have to. The alarm system provides an unexpected additional layer of security, especially if you're doing something like deliveries and just want to run inside a store real fast. The mechanical dual disc brakes provide ample stopping power, especially at class 3 speeds and under. It does include a cadence sensor, but pedaling will likely not be a priority on this bike, at least for me at 6'3" and 235 pounds or so. It does have a max capacity of 400 pounds, and it's made of high carbon steel, so it is kind of heavy. It does weigh 62 pounds, and it's got these knobby tires that should provide good traction in all road conditions. The display is pretty basic, but it does show battery voltage when you start up, which is cool. But none of this matters unless the DTTZH A12 e-bike can do what it promises. So let's look at that next. All right, let's talk about these controls. So on my left, we've got the headlights, our power levels, 1, 2, and 3, and underneath that is the horn. On the right side, just the display unit that shows miles per hour, and it's pretty close to GPS. I've seen it either matching or up to 1 off. And then we've got our key slot down here, which of course, again, you saw you can start the bike by using the key fob, which is cool, especially for me if I have to pedal and I'm not aware. I could easily just snap that key right in half with my right knee. So that's good to have as an option, especially on this compact bike. You don't see that on a lot of bigger bikes. And I've added a mirror and some turn signals, just given that the bike is designed to be ridden on the road as a commuter bike. It makes sense to have turn signals. All right, we're in assistance 1, but which for now I'm gonna get up this hill. I'm gonna need as much power as possible to get up this hill. I look ridiculous pedaling this thing. I'm looking forward to doing the range test, which is coming up next. I am going to make sure the battery's on a full charge, so I plan to do anywhere between 20 and 25 miles with a 25 amp hour battery. I'm expecting 25 to 30 miles range. Yeah, it's not that punchy on the start, like from 0, but once you're moving and give it throttle, it wants to go. Oof. Yeah, that sounded bad, but it didn't feel bad. I mean, it's got suspension, full suspension. This little thing can book. I wouldn't take it off-road. I mean, here's an off-road trail. Let's see what it does. I wouldn't take it off-road. Here's an off-road trail. Like, okay, I don't want to go through that mud. I just don't. If I were on a kayak, what would I do? Okay, so you can work your way through. I'd say in a pinch, if you got to go off road, it's capable. I wouldn't spend most of my time on this bike off road, that's for sure. But like I said, once you get the wheels moving, it delivers power. And I don't know if it's because of my weight as to why the start is so slow. Yeah, we got to cut that squealing out. Is it the brakes? That was a nice little show of what this can do off-road. It's definitely not its strong point, but it's capable. I wouldn't mind seeing more punch off the line, especially for stoplights and things like that. But once you're moving, man, this thing goes. It works its way up hills. I think it doesn't want to burn out the motor or the controller, I don't know. But it's handling this trail well. Where is my hoodie? That's what I would like to know. Alright, so I am using the bag because I got stuff to carry. Let's just secure it down here because I need water. I'm gonna stop by 7-Eleven. 12 miles, we're at 58.7 on the volts, so we're at full charge. Gonna start out in power level 1. And we're gonna do our range test. And what I mean by that is we're gonna see where we are 20 miles in. Actually, I don't need to start yet. Let me get up to this 7-Eleven and get some water, and then we're gonna go. Well, I keep saying 7-Eleven, but it's Sunoco right across the street. Have a good day. We are on power level 1. Now let's have some fun. The goal is to do 10 miles. 11 miles up, rather, and 11 miles back. Okay, we are at mile 6. We are going through the city of Sterling. We're on the east side of Sterling. It's getting a little chilly. I'm gonna put on my balaclava. And that's how valuable this pouch is, man. I did have to sacrifice my front turn signals, but considering I'm on a trail, not on the road, that's no big deal. So far I've seen 4 e-bikes, but 3 compacts. Well, 2 compacts and a scooter. I'd say the only thing giving me trouble so far is this thing right here. So I don't know if you've noticed, but at some points I've had to have my thumb sitting up top. And I'm sitting here listening to music, realizing that I did not bring my phone charger. I got all these chargers. I got a charger here, I got a battery in here, and no cable. All right, we're back underway. We're at 6 miles again. Feeling good, butt's feeling good, back's feeling good. I did take ibuprofen before I left, so cheating there. I wanted to enjoy the ride and not suffer through it or endure through it. It feels a lot better with the balaclava. I mean, it's not cold, but of course, when you've got the wind going and what have you, it adds to it. So I just went about the last quarter mile or so with my kickstand down, looking more clownish than I already am. I'm thirsty to be free. Got to speak my manifest. All right, we are at mile 9.1 to be somewhere near exact. I don't know where we are on volts. Turnaround is at 11, so we'll turn it off and on and then see what the volts are. All right, we got another compact. Hey, looks like we're all living the E-life, man. I think that's 3 compacts, 1 scooter, and 2 26 inches. E-life, baby. It's a win. Win in my book. Where were these things when I was young? Well, yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, well, we were outside, thinking I'm comparing it to electronics or something. This would have had us outside even more, because we were on our bikes these distances anyway. This is actually turnaround point. We're at 10.9. The plan was to go 11 miles up and 11 miles back. Let's take this hill. We have been going up in elevation the entire time. Hey, what's up? Thank you. So mile 11, which was the original turnaround point, was right at a middle school that was just letting out some extracurricular stuff, so I didn't want to stop there. All right, we're at 11.5 miles. We're going to turn it off and turn it on just to see where we are voltage wise. I'm also going to rest my butt. So 11.5 miles. Okay, let's go ahead and see where we are voltage wise. Start up, 11 miles, 55 volts. Let's check the seat. The seat has stayed where it should be. 55 volts, 80% or so. Could go a lot farther, but I saw some places to explore. Plus we can do our brake test on the way back. Well, again, not necessary. We'll go up a little bit more. We'll go up a little more because on the way back, is going more downhill, if you will. You know, it's, I mean, very slow incline, but over time it counts. All right, so we're reset to 0 miles, 24 miles on the bike. Let's see what happens. Okay. I'm just gonna turn back. Wired. That's a good bike. We just dropped our first battery bar at about 12 miles in. That bike in front of me is probably around $3,000, depending on which model. I couldn't catch it. I just saw the wired. But it's got like 72 volts, either 60 or 72 volts. All right, we're at 12.7. We're gonna go ahead and turn around here. Hey. I guess I should say thank you. You put in a bike, that's for bikes, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Take care.
Yeah.
I've been in power level 1 this entire time, and I've been going somewhere between 10 and 15 miles an hour. I'll see what the average speed is. Well, it says the average speed is 10.1. So I've been just cruising at 10, right? In power level 1. I could have it in power level 2 and 3 and still be going around the same speed, but using a lot more battery. But for the purpose of just riding on this relatively flat terrain, paved road, I get with the speed limit being what it is, 20, and you just want to go for a casual ride, I don't see why you would want to have it in levels 2 or 3. Again, just for casual riding like this, because you can extend your battery and go almost the same speed. I mean, if I go ahead and put it in 2 right now, I have the throttle the same place, so I've gone up a couple miles an hour, but I'm just using that much more battery. I know there's a fascination with top speed and high speed, whatever. In spurts, that's good, but to be doing this, but to be driving top speed for the entire duration of your ride is not practical. I think you'd be concerned about burning out your motor. And of course, if you do that, you're gonna burn your battery out that much faster, which is somewhat counterintuitive to why you wanna have an e-bike. I think one of the things that bike companies are going to start focusing on is battery capacity, at least for class 3 bikes. What's the use in having a bike that you can go 30, 40 miles an hour and only ride it for 5 miles? Of course, there's a time and a place for everything. All right, we've only got a few minutes left on this SD card, so we're going to do our brake test now. And where are we? 25.4 miles into the journey. I'm going to go ahead and get set up for this brake test and then bring it on back to the car and wrap up this review. So I stopped long after, well after I said I was going to stop, and I just went beyond this little pole, so I'd say that's good. It's got good stopping power, emergency stopping power. We made it. 27.1 miles, 2 hours, 35 minutes, 10.4 mile per hour average speed, and 22.6 miles per hour top speed. Batteries at 49.7 volts. It's just under 50%, man. It's like 50-mile range. All right, let's get her put away. All right, just wrapping up the review, let's talk about the fit and finish and the ease of storage. You can see the welds. I think they're pretty good. The bike felt stable. Some of the welds don't seem perfect or, are not ideal. But again, the bike held up. The suspension, you feel that central or that mid suspension. When you're going, it almost feels like the bike is separating, like it's like serpentine almost. But that midway suspension actually doing its job. The forks don't have a whole bunch of travel, but again, that mid and rear suspension, you really do benefit from that. The chain, you don't even use the chain that much. It's there. I used it a little bit to get up some hills, some little grades, but it's almost a non-factor. The seat, I rode 20 something miles and my butt does not hurt. I don't know what else to say. I could put another seat on there, but I know that I won't be riding this far again. So I don't think that I would need to replace the seat. The seat is just fine, especially if you're just going 5 miles or less as you're commuting, maybe as a last mile option. Either way, if you're doing 10 miles, this seat is fine. Again, I'm 230 plus pounds. A lot of people riding this are going to be a lot lighter, and you won't have that same impact on the seat. And so again, the seat was completely fine for me, and I think it would be fine for most people who don't weigh as much as I do. The wheels were sturdy, didn't have any issues. I almost slid one time, but that was kind of my fault going in a curve with the motor engaged, but I didn't slip. And the wheels, they seem like they're good off-road wheels, and they will get you across some gravel, some dirt. But again, the bike is primarily designed to be a on-road commuter style bike, mainly on pavements, sidewalks, trails, bike lanes, and so forth. I'm at 6'3". I'm at the top of the rider height. I was able to pedal some. It's much easier to pedal without the key in it, and that made it so that I could pedal when I had to. I'm able to sit straight up when I'm riding, which I like. I'm not leaned over or anything like that. The folding process is pretty straightforward and simple. I think once you do it a handful of times, you'll definitely be able to get it down to that 3-second folding time. I mean, it's really not hard at all. I find it easier just to take the seat off because I'm putting it in my trunk. And that's where this bike is going to live. It's pretty much my launch vehicle. Like if I had a boat or a yacht and you have your launch, your small, maybe inflatable dinghy or whatever. But that's basically it, and I can go on trail rides and so forth, but, there are going to be a lot of uses for this thing in my trunk. For example, if I want to get my car serviced, I don't have to sit there and wait. I can go for a bike ride, or I can ride my bike back home, and come and ride my bike back when I want to go pick it up. So definitely like the ability to store it in the trunk. So that just takes me into pros and cons. Pros, the size, the portability. Again, being able to just put it in my trunk. You can put it in a closet somewhere. I think it is a solid last mile solution. Something you can bring on the train with you. There are a lot of places this bike can go. The 52 volt, 25 amp hour battery, you see, I went 27 miles on this test, even though I was in power level 1. That's a good amount of miles for me because I'm not riding 30 miles an hour for the duration of my trip, wherever I'm going. So if there are times where I need to go 30 miles an hour, that's fine. But I know that the battery can sustain a reasonable commute or just a good time out exploring, whatever you're doing. You get solid range. I didn't have any range anxiety whatsoever. Even though you don't get battery percentage, You can turn it off and on and you will get voltage, which is even more accurate. I do like the motor. I wish it gave a little bit more oomph at startup. You know, there were times where, like, particularly when I'm crossing the street or something and cars slow down to stop for you, you know, I had to use my legs to really get a good boost off the starting line. And so it is a powerful motor. It gives you a lot of speed, especially at the top end or if you're already moving. But from zero to get going, I wish it had more oomph, you know, or more power, because it is slow to get going. But once you do get going, you get a lot of usable power. I do like the suspension. I didn't have any issues on this ride. It takes the pressure off your back, your arms, everything. It works. It's not the greatest because this is not a $1,500+ bike, but the suspension works for what it does. I love the key fob and being able to use it to start the bike and not have that key in there where my knee would be hitting it. That is great. Also, just having peace of mind with security, being able to lock it if you just want to run in someplace real quick, and because it has that audible theft deterrent. And so that's a useful thing to have on a bike like this. And I didn't think I would love the basket as much as I do, but that basket is awesome. I wasn't going to even bring it on this range test, but I'm so glad that I did, because I'm sitting here thinking, well, where am I going to put this? Where am I going to put that? Again, if I didn't bring the basket, but the basket was ideal. I love that it's not the plaid. I like that it's a flat all black. And the zipper is a little bit low grade, so you need to take your time when using that zipper, or it is likely to break. I like that the phone holder is on there with the USB-A port, charging port. But I will say that the phone holder itself is not the highest quality, so you have to screw it in, screw it out. And I know that's to accommodate many different types of phones, but just be careful screwing it in, because it's one of those things where you can easily go beyond and break that. So it tightens up as much as it needs to, and there's no real need to, over tighten it. Now let's talk about some cons, some things I don't necessarily like. Now, being a commuter bike, you would expect to see turn signals on it, and there are none. But as you can see, I have my own on here. I think they look great. They match the Zenith logo and they work fine. So yeah, if you don't want to do that, of course, you're going to use your hand signals or whatever. The display is very basic. You can't toggle to see what your battery voltage is, for example. But the fact that it does have battery voltage is great. Of course, it's got mechanical brakes, so it's going to have less stopping power than the hydraulic brakes and require more maintenance. I think hydraulic brakes would be a little over engineering on these. It does have a cadence sensor and the single gear, but you're not using that, if at all. And so that's really a non-factor. I mean, the fact that it has some power assistance is great, because I've seen a lot of bikes in these categories when I was researching that did not even have a basic level of pedal assist. So at least you do have a cadence sensor with some assistance, and you can use your pedals to help the motor get up hills. All right, so who is this bike for? Definitely commuters, last mile options. If you're taking the bus and you want another option for the bus, you can certainly use this bike, depending on where you are, of course. If it's in a super hilly place like San Francisco, your options are going to be a little bit more limited. Then you would be petitioning the company to put a motor on the front wheel. But yeah, casual trail riding like I did today, neighborhood or city exploration, something perfect for that. I saw at least 4 other bikes like this on the trail today. And yeah, it's as far as what I recommend it, absolutely. You see how I'm using it. I'm going to have it just in my trunk. There are going to be people that can take it just out of your apartment onto an elevator and onto the street. You know, going back and forth to the store with that basket, you have a lot of options there to be able to just go pick something up. And particularly now with gas prices as high as they are, being able to just hop on this bike real quickly and go get what you need and come back without even having to order ride share or something like that. It's a great option. So I would definitely recommend this bike. So I would say if you stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. I did ask the company for a review unit, but they told me that my channel was too small. So, you know, I was a little disappointed, but I did understand. So if you did like this video and you want to see more like it, including me doing some fishing adventures and stuff like that on e-bikes, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you want to check out more details on this bike, there's a link in the description section. So please click that, check out the bike, and get out and enjoy the great outdoors. Thanks again for watching. Drew out.